Hello and welcome to Firstpost. Today we have with us the Mehta Boys, Avinash Tiwary, Boman Irani, Shreya and Puja. And we just want to know tell you it's a brilliant movie. I was waiting for it to come because I've heard that it was making its round at the film festival. So Boman sir, what made you come up with this idea?
You liked the film?
I did.
You said it yourself. I like the story idea. I went with it. It's what you get attracted to.
But you did everything. The story. How difficult was it being a director, producer, actor, writer for everything?
I think the hardest work was in the writing process because that takes time and it's a very exact art. It's a very exact process. Structurally, you've got to get it right. There's scenes that may not be necessary, but you've got to justify those scenes in the film. So the writing is the most difficult part. The most difficult part. If the writing is in place, everything works out well. Then you may not even need a director. Don't say that.
True, the writing is a hero now, and especially I've seen it with different kind of movies coming in, especially the OTT content, which we say the OTT films and the series. It is the writing which is the hero.
Absolutely.
And if that is sorted, everything else is sorted.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it is a father-son relation which is very complex and dark. And there is masculinity and there is a lot of ego. The movie is all about ego. What do you have to say about this? Your relationship, did you get any ideas from your relationship with your father? As you
I don't have a father.
You once mentioned.
I never met my father.
Yeah,
my father died 6 months before I was born. So
but you are a father, right?
Sure.
To 2 sons.
Sure. So I never had that perspective, but I have this perspective. And my relationship with my son is not at all dark, let me tell you. It's wonderful. It's just that sometimes I feel that what I was as a father coping with a 5-year-old, I learned to understand a 5-year-old. And the day I understood how to deal with a 5-year-old, he became 7. The day I started figuring it out at 7, there was a monologue I'd written, which is exactly more or less on the same line. I took it out. And then I figured out how to deal with a 7-year-old, saying, "Yeah, I got the secret sauce." And he became 11. And then the trouble starts when the little wisps of mustache comes along. And you say, "This guy he thinks he's on his way to becoming a man. He doesn't needs his father as much. Maybe he does, but he doesn't show it, and the father feels, I've been left out of the love game, of the affection game." And the scene that I have with Shreya in the bar, we're sitting and talking about a scene with his tuition teacher, where he's not pushing his son. He's telling his wife, "Chodo na yaar, maths mein acha nahi hai to acha nahi hai." He starts pushing him when it matters, because now we're going to prepare you to be a man of the world. So he's contradicting himself. And then when that scene is happening, it's a flashback where they were teasing the mother instead. They're jumping on the bed. They were hugging. Hug kiya, kiss kiya, bed tod diya. And then what happened? He left home without saying he's leaving home. So that hurts.
So why do you have these ego struggle, Avinash, with your father or your parents in general? Did you have this wars, kind of silent wars? This is silent wars.
No, I've never had wars with my father. But I mean, there can be conflicts, there can be disagreements to things, and I can definitely say that I never had this. I didn't allow myself to disagree with him, even though I disagreed with him. So that kind of creates a certain repressed situation for you as a person, and it kind of then translates into different ways in your life, not necessarily with your father, is what I'm trying to say. So there might be things like that. But I feel that it's not just between a father and son. These things, the ego can come up with anyone. Any relationship. It could be between co-actors, like how the one sitting next to me has a huge amount of ego.
What is that, ego? Shreya, can you throw light on it?
Yeah. So that's an ego issues.
Did we?
Did we not?
Take it out.
No, so jokes apart, I mean, this is something that can definitely happen in any relationship, right? And that is something that one has to deal with, which is what this film does very well by telling you a story between a father and son and gives you insights into human relationships, which is what we are here for.
That's what we do. Exactly.
How much do you relate to the role? Do you relate to the
Of
role
course I
in
do.
quite a bit?
Yes,
or-
yes. I mean, I've been that son. We were just talking about it. Like, I just thought of this situation when, you know, a little minor inconvenience, and I would run to my dad and, you know, tell him about it, and he would create the space for me to come and tell everything to him, and which he still desires, I believe. But somewhere in life, I decided not to. That now, if I
The
get
same
a
thing
bruise,
that I just said from his perspective.
yeah,
Same thing. When I said much hagi, now he's not liquor.
now he's not.
Now you're running to your father every now and then, going back home?
I mean, I'm almost turning 40, but until last year I was staying with my parents, and sometimes it would be difficult, especially because, you know, that I had a long period where I was not working. He was nearing his retirement, and those are difficult situations in the family when the father is almost feeling that, oh, he's in government services, he's retiring, the son has not really taken a stand. He would feel a little insecure, and I didn't know a way out. And he would push me and poke me, and that would make me uncomfortable. But you have the distance now, and you're able to look at it and see where he was coming from, what you are going through. So those things happen in our lives. Thankfully, I'm blessed with the awareness of it. You know, thankfully, I'm blessed with people who can give me this insight. Thankfully, we have a film like the Mehta Boys now that can give you an insight. So this is where we are.
And it happens in all families, Boman sir. The jealousy between father and son, mother and daughter. And
There is rivalry.
There's rivalry.
There
And
is rivalry.
is there a problem also that the son superseding the father in some ways?
I'm sure there is.
Because it shows.
Well, I think
It's not said in so many words in the movie, but we can make out there are a lot of things.
There is the subtext over there of a person saying, really? He's asking the Kadiya. You think he knows what he's talking about? See, your son is an architect. Ask him.
Exactly.
So he turns around and says, हम जैसे लोग नहीं समझेंगे. The Kadiya is telling the old man, you and I, ये अपने बस की बात नहीं है. आपका बेटा बड़ा architect है. I say, I want to say, really, Coco, have your bloody bhajia, you know. And you feel bad that you've been reduced and you're elevating this guy who I'm saying, nikamma hai sala.
Nobody. Is it nobody? Kind
Achha.
of.
It's my dad has gone ahead and said, सुन, तू इस देश का प्राइम मिनिस्टर भी होगा ना, तो तेरी कान पकड़ के खड़ा करना ये मेरा बेटा है, ये बोलने का हक अधिकार. He doesn't want to let go, and which is I
Kind
think,
of entitlement, yes.
and I personally feel such great joy that is. I mean, I honestly want to think of it like that. कि अरे,
Owning it, you think it's a great joy?
I think if my father saying कि ये जो है ना ये
Mera beta.
I have
It's part of my body.
I think it's joyous for me कि और कौन कान खींच रहा है, बाप के अलावा किसी को हक है. So I personally feel I'm blessed that I have someone like him who can do that to me. So I value it. For some it might be very difficult to bear, right? For me it is of value. For me it is of value that there's someone I can look up to and who can, because I'm fearless otherwise. There's one man I fear, and who can hold me, hold on to my horses, who can say, okay, calm down, stop, you know, and I am willing to look at and listen to. These are my blessings. This is the way I see it. For some, it might not be.
Shreya, you play a very powerful woman's role and a connecting factor also between the father and the son. Are you influenced by somebody in your family or something like that, or a friend which helped you in playing the role?
I think firstly when I read the script, there was a lot that I understood about Zara through every scene, and I think that's the genius of the writing. And of course then I had Boman sir who was there to hold my hand through every scene, so we in fact workshopped really thoroughly because Boman sir was also not just directing but also acting in the scenes. So thank you for recognizing Zara's, say, power or empowerment, like we like to call it. And one very beautiful note that he told me was that, you know, Zara's empowered. In fact, all the female characters are empowered, but it's not superficial. It doesn't have to be, laced with aggression, or some people associate the word boldness with, power. He's like, you can be empowered with gentleness. You can be sensitive. You can have that feminine energy and still be empowered. So that was very interesting for me to kind of gather. And then the few people in my life that I turned to for inspiration, I would say, to understand that, were people like my mother. My grandmothers, my nani and my dadi live with me as well. My sister-in-law, they all are working women and extremely empowered. And in fact, I've seen them play that bridge between, say, the men in the family as well. And they do that with such grace. So I think it's a beautifully written character. And I feel very excited that I get to play a part like that.
Puja, your role was very, very impressive, very emotional. And you have been actually the person who was being sandwiched between the fight between the brother and the father. So what was playing at the back of your mind when you were doing this? The script definitely had a thing, but there must be some emotional, you finding yourself in that role.
I think the script really did most of the work for me. And like with the script, it was like you're a detective looking for clues in the script, for your character. So that was a very exciting process. And Abhi, Shreya mentioned grace. And when he said grace, I was like, oh shit, Anu didn't have much grace. She didn't have time.
That's why I cast you.
Hey.
Yes, you didn't have much time. Like every mother who is struggling between old parents, a troublesome brother, and
kids
family.
in America.
It's a family and kids.
Now they started grumbling.
Story of
What's
our
going on
lives.
here?
And I think this one line that helped me with this character was that she is not getting time to grieve herself for her mother. Because these two, are coming up with huge mountains of their own egos and etc. Like they're disrupting something, and I feel like that thing for Anu, like trying to find time to grieve and for herself, which she doesn't get. And then she's like, wait, basta, I'm done, I'm out here. Like,
She gets the hell out of there.
yeah, she's like, nahi, bas, okay. I've tried and failed, maybe. Yeah.
Boman, so what do you think is the biggest trouble of this generation? Is it the lack of conversation between parents? What is it like?
It's always been like
keeping things to
It's
yourself?
always been like this.
It's always been
Yeah,
like this.
it's
But why are we
always been
talking
like
about it now and not before this?
Wow, because I'm talking about it. No, but it's always been like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People, I know 90-year-old men who told me about their fathers. My father, I wish I had been. Now what are you wishing for? Why have
तभी
you
बोलना
been?
चाहिए था ना? You should have.
That's what the movie is saying, no? Before he takes that last flight into the heavens, जाके बात कर लो ना, जो करना है, पूरा कर दो, 1, 2, 3 करो. That's the problem, but it's always been like this. It's nothing new. But yeah, this generation probably is spending a little more time on the Instagram or
And being more vocal, saying private lies on the social media platform.
yeah, but it's still I don't think that's got anything to do with this equation with your parent. There is a masculine ego that creates a big mountain between two men, one who is wanting to be a man, the other guy who's losing his man.
My favorite part, which I found the father to be extremely complex, was when he said, "You've got this woman, she's beautiful." He didn't say, "You got this woman, she's beautiful," and then he said, "No,
Don't act too
you're
surprised.
surprised. Don't get too surprised."
Yeah.
But like saying that, how could you
तुझे
get this?
कैसे मिली?
तुझे कैसे मिला इसमें?
Again, the male ego. Same story again. He actually says, she's beautiful. Yeah. ये कैसे हो गया?
Thank you so much for your time. It was
Thank you
great.
very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank